Hey guys, this is Coach Edwards, lacrossegoalietips.com and lacrossegoalieuniversity.com. And this week I have probably my most controversial post, which is what the lacrosse goalie of the future is going to look like. So over the years, I've been doing this for a long time now. And I think one of the things that's kind of really helped me as a coach is dealing with goalies from not like just within one area, but all over the world. I get emails every week from goalies somewhere in the world. And what's interesting is I get to see a lot of commonalities. I get to see a lot of challenges, a lot of problems. And what's always fascinates me is I get a lot of the same questions, no matter if that's coming from, Long Island, some of those traditional hotbeds like upstate New York, or some of the newer hotbeds like Minnesota. Shout out to all my guys in the middle of America. I've been getting a lot of emails lately from those parents, and the game's really exploding, which I love. Okay, so congratulations to all of you. But here's the thing: is that I think the game of lacrosse is at a big crossroads, because the game has gotten so fast. And with the introduction of offset heads years ago, and the introduction of strength and conditioning and training for young athletes, we're seeing kids bigger, faster, stronger than ever, both men and women. Okay, but the lacrosse goalie position, as you've heard me say, hasn't really evolved much. I was on the phone with Larry Quinn, who was I grew up watching play at Johns Hopkins, one of the best goalies of all time, and he sent me a picture of his chest protector, which looked like an oversized Band-Aid. He found it in his attic, and I thought, hey, it's kind of interesting because fundamentally it wasn't much different than the chest protector I wore, like 20, 30 years later, right? So that to me kind of shows that there's a problem kind of brewing with lacrosse goaltending and specifically because the game is improving to the point where a lacrosse goalie doesn't have as much of a chance to stop the ball as they used to when sticks had different pockets in it. Guys weren't as well trained, girls weren't as well trained. And so what I wanted to talk about today was where I see the lacrosse goalie of the future going and what that's going to look like, okay? And this is probably, almost as controversial as my why stepping to the ball is wrong post. But I hope you'll read this and you'll share it and you'll comment below. And let's talk about this and let's kind of get some change happening here, because I think this needs to happen, or else it's not going to be a lot of fun watching a lacrosse game when a lot of shots go in the net. So the first thing the goalie of the future the lacrosse goalie of the future is going to embrace is protection. And you only need to look at protection in other sports as where a lacrosse goalie isn't really going to fit in. And I'm not talking about protection just for their own protection, although I think that's really important, because I think what we're going to see soon is unfortunately we're going to see a goalie who we're going to see a high-powered shooter take a shot from like 12 yards and hook it right into a goalie's chest, and that goalie's going to drop dead because they're not going to have enough equipment on. Maybe we'll see like broken collarbones, broken ribs, things like that. These things already happen, but we're going to see something pretty major happen. And I don't like to throw that out there, but as a parent, I know it's coming, because the protection is not, and also the culture of protection is not keeping pace with the velocity of the shots. Okay, so that's one thing. But the goalie is not going to look at it just for their own protection. The lacrosse goalie of the future is going to embrace protection as a way to stop more balls. And just like hockey goalies evolved to stop more pucks, hockey goalies went from a stand-up style to a butterfly style. And nowadays you cannot have a goalie with a stand-up style who plays hockey. They're just not good enough. But the equipment evolved, and the first thing you saw happen was hockey goalies, they started to cheat a little bit. Garth Snow, who played at the University of Maine and was a New York Islander, really stretched this a lot, where they would add, he would add gussets like in his jersey or between his legs and his pants to catch pucks. Goalie equipment like leg pads got super wide. Now, for lacrosse goalies, we were practically nothing, okay? So what you're going to see is goalies start to embrace equipment like catcher's shin guards, which is something that I've espoused for a really long time, which cover all the way up to the middle of your thigh, and they cover the top of your foot. They're going to embrace that, and this kind of goes into my phase 2 of what the lacrosse goalie of the future is going to do, is they're going to migrate now to not trying to catch the ball with just their one hand, all right? Like I envision, like your goalie stick, whether you're a righty or lefty, is like you have this big extended glove on your hand, on that hand, right? And we're the only goalie in any sport who's taught to try to catch everything no matter where it's shot on us. I'm a righty goalie, if the ball's shot to my left foot, we're teaching kids to bring the stick all the way down and make the save. We're not teaching kids to just put their foot there, right? We're saying lead with the foot, right? Like lead with the foot. But really, in the back of a lot of people's heads, we're thinking, well, lead with the foot, but you don't make that a kick save. But in fact, we're going to start to see that. We're going to see goalies who start to embrace, using their bottom hand, like their glove, their bottom hand, that glove, more as a blocker for shots on their stick side hip. I'm working on an advanced stepping to the ball or moving to the ball DVD, and I've got the footage shot, and I'm still just trying to wrap my head around the best way to kind of share this. I've already shared this type of information with my Lacrosse Goalie University members, but what we're going to see is goalies start to use more of their body and start, as a hockey goalie, using the closest appendage to the ball. They're going to move there first to make the save. Are they going to give up rebounds? Yes, but they're going to be making saves. Are they going to be safer? Yes. Are save percentage going to change? I think so. Because what's going to be interesting is we're going to see the ball on the ground more, and we're going to see defensemen who are now better ball carriers, like back in kind of in the 90s when titanium shafts were brought into the game. Thank you, David Morrow. We saw defensemen who could start to strip players, and the ball would be on the ground. We're not seeing that a lot anymore. We're seeing like these very calculated offenses that all of a sudden get the big shot from outside, and they're lighting goalies up. What's going to happen here, though, is you're going to start to see goalies get lit up higher, especially like their off-stick high side, because that's the one place that they don't. It's going to be the hardest place for them to move there, and probably off-stick low. So you're going to see that. Then what you'll see happen is you'll see the discussion of shortening the cages. Actually, I'm going to get to that in a second. The third phase, all right, and this is really out there, but you're going to start to see goalies playing both hands. Not with two sticks, that's not what I'm saying. But you're going to see a goalie that when the ball, like if I'm a righty goalie and I'm standing on my right pipe, you're going to start to see goalies who start to mess around putting the stick in their left hand, because just from a fundamental percentage, right? A percentage of covering the net and having to move to the ball. Like if I am a goalie, if I'm a righty goalie and I'm on my right pipe, okay, and the angle of the shot has moved, and it's a smaller angle shot. The odds of that shot coming to my right side to this near pipe has lessened. So the odds of that shot going to my off stick is higher. So you're going to see goalies starting to put their stick there. All right, I'm kind of sick already of seeing goalies who are right-handed and they're getting lit up by an attackman or a midi shooting from like side right to their off stick hip, and because they're trying to move like this. They're trying to get the stick all the way over there. That's when we're going to start to see goalies start to move that hand, move that stick into the hand where there's a higher percentage of that ball to go. Now, will shots be tried to snuck by the near side pipe? Sure, but goalies are going to evolve to that. okay? And I think what's going to happen now is you're going to see goalies be more proactive. It's something that I try to teach with kids that are advanced. I say, okay, we're going to be more proactive as a goalie, all right? And we're going to start to dictate where that shooter's shooting, because otherwise we have no chance. Like, we're just basically a sitting duck hoping not to get hit, or hoping to get hit depending on how much protection you have on. Right? There's a difference there. If you're unprotected, you're thinking, oh my God, I hope he doesn't hit me. And I see this with goalies. I see it in college goalies too, where, you see the guy, like, you see the shot coming and the goalie's almost standing up before the shot even gets there. And I just think that's a shame. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here, because I want to talk a little bit more, I'm gonna save that for next week's video, all right? But I want to talk about the changes that need to happen in the game to help lacrosse goalies. And I think you're going to look forward to that. So do me a favor. If you like this video, shoot me an email, coach@lacrossegoalietips.com. Leave me a comment below. Share it, pin it, like it, tweet it, Google Plus it. I'd really appreciate it. And I'll talk to you next week. Cheers.